All right, now we are live. It is, what is it? It's June 25th. I should know that. It was my anniversary yesterday. I'd be in trouble if I forgot the date.
Anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Oh,
Happy anniversary.
thank you, everybody. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on, not only on my side, but I know on your side. I know you guys have a ton of stuff going on too. So we can open up to questions here.
I have one, if I could start.
Sure, I got your big ideas.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about. Any input on those?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pull this up here, and I do definitely have some feedback for you on there. You've got some good pieces and some that are needing to be flushed out a little bit better.
Yeah, they need some first aid.
Okay, so for a big idea, the components, the key components to a big idea is you have to have a promise.
Mm-hmm.
And the promise is based on what it is that you're going to deliver. And that's the second piece to the puzzle. You have to at least allude to a unique delivery mechanism that's going to deliver on the promise.
Mm.
So when you're formulating a big idea, you have to really get into your prospects and understand what it is that they want. And that's where I see the biggest hiccups that most people have, is they get caught up in that. And don't feel bad about that. I do the same thing. Every time I do it, I look at them like, yeah, that's not really what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hard process. You know, it's not like it's rocket science, but it's not easy because it doesn't come intuitively to us. So that's why ad agencies get paid so much to do this. They've got particular people in place that this is the way they think. And we have to kind of retrain ourselves how we think if we want to be successful and actually convert. And I think that's what we're all here for. So anyway, let me just read this off here, and just kind of some background. This is for court stuff, court cases. Okay, so headline is Heal Stress for Legal Success. Learn how to show up clear, strong, and persuasive in front of the judge. Now, that stuff right there is the part that needs a little work. The next piece down, this is kind of an intriguing part, and it could actually be strengthened up too. It says, experienced attorney and author teaches you proven effective techniques to win your big day in court. Now, that's probably what they want. They want to win your big day in court. And you could put a different twist to that. Instead of just experienced attorney, you want to create some intrigue, because that's the third piece to the big idea. You got, like I said, you had three pieces. You have the promise of the desired outcome, the delivery mechanism for it, and saying it in a unique, compelling way that they haven't heard it before. And if you combine those three pieces, you will have a really strong, what's called big idea. And, you know, I know a lot of people hear that big idea and they think that it's just that. Well, it's not. That's a phrase that was coined back in the 50s in the ad business. And that's actually a thing. You know, it's referred to as a big idea. It's not just thinking, oh yeah, you know, we had an idea and it was a big one. It's actually referring to a real thing. And you can look this up. You know, it's out there. You can research big idea. There was actually a movie made, or not a movie, a whole series made around it called Mad Men. And David Ogilvy he's kind of coined as the inventor of it, or the mother of the big idea. And he was really successful in the ad business back in the 50s. And when he was asked, he was interviewed by someone asking, what is it about you that makes these campaigns successful every time? And he equated his success to the big idea. And he said, a marketing campaign without a big idea is going to pass like a ship in the night. And he said that kind of in a riddle, like, what does that mean? And when you pull the curtain back, what does that mean? It means your ad is not going to be seen. A ship in the night is in the dark. You don't see it pass. And that's what's going to happen with your ad campaign if you don't have a big idea. That's what he was saying. And he said everything, like when he spoke almost in riddles to make you really think. And it was to grab your attention. And that's the whole key to a marketing campaign. That's the very first piece. If you can't do that, your campaign is going to fail. I guarantee it. And he guaranteed it too, with that statement of, without a big idea, your campaign's going to pass like a ship in the night. Because if it's not seen, and guess what? Your odds of converting are zilch. It's zilch. It's zero, zip. So that's the first piece. That is like, if you don't get that right, it doesn't matter how good your presentation is. It doesn't matter how good your offer is. It doesn't matter how good your close is. They're not going to see it. They're never going to get there. So that's really, really important that you guys work on these big ideas. And another thing, some other very famous admin, a lot of people have talked about this throughout history. There's a lot of, a lot of material around this whole concept. And some of the other guys that are more modern to this, what they say is, you don't create a big idea. The big idea does not come out of you or your head. The big idea always comes out of the market. And that's your research. That's really knowing and understanding who you're talking to, who you're targeting. And that's how you do it. You don't just sit there and brainstorm and kick around big ideas. They formulate out of the market. What is the promise? What is, where do you get that? You get that by asking the question of what's important to the market. And a lot of times, if you aren't the market yourself, sometimes you might be. So sometimes if you get the idea yourself and it comes out of you, then you are the ideal prospect. And that does happen. A lot of us are that. We created whatever it is that we're selling to serve ourselves first. That happens an awful lot in business. So we will create it, we'll have success, and then we'll share it, and that is our business. So if that's the case, then you might be able to pull it out of yourself. But here's something I want you to get. This is a really, really important factor if you're going to do that. You today are not the same as you were then. When you had this problem, you thought differently before you had the solution. And you have to go back in time and think as you were, not as you are. Because you are a very different animal today than you were when you had the problem and you didn't have a solution. And you were thinking differently, you were having different thoughts, everything was different. So unless you get back to that point, again, you're not the ideal market. Where you are today, you're a different person. You're not there anymore. You have to go back. Because I've had that too. I've had a lot of people say, oh yeah, I know my market. And they're thinking of themselves today. And that's not the market. It's the market they were the market when they had the problem, not today, not when it's solved. Because we all think differently, talk differently, act differently once we're on the other side of the problem. So that's a really important distinction. And it goes back to big idea comes out of the market you're trying to sell to.
Yeah, that won't be me because, the stress reduction, emotional work, all of that I had. But as far as going to court, I was trained in law school, so I never was in that position of somebody in that kind of fear and unknowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am researching the market quite a bit.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like this goes back to my kind of criteria of when I'm trying to come up with this stuff, I always think as a verifier, is this what the person is thinking when they lay their head down at night to go to sleep? And I have that kind of sentence that if I could only blank, then I could blank. And if you can answer those, that'll give you a lot of insight into how that person's feeling, what they're thinking. And I don't think that their primary thing when they go to sleep at night is, oh, I want to learn how to show up clear and strong and persuasive in front of the judge. They, and then you had another one with the IRS, and we've got Joe DeChara's on here, and he's an IRS expert as well, and we've kind of kicked big ideas around with him, and came up with some really strong stuff. It's like, I don't think he ever used this one, but we kind of kicked this one around as a more of a joke than anything. Was like, make the IRS your bitch. I think that might
yeah. Actually, John, it was IRS Smackdown.
Yeah. Well, that was actually what you came up with, but I know we threw the make the IRS your bitch out and laughed about it.
Yeah, well, that's still up there. I still got the IRS Smackdown. I just dug a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
So Joe might be able to help you kind of, with the way he flushed that out. But it was like, those people, they want to be in the power position. They don't want to be like scared and fearful. And the fact that he's got something that puts them in that power position, that alone not only grabs attention, but creates incredible intrigue and demand and desire to want to learn more. So that's
John, can I mention something here? Because this is what I discovered, doing all this research.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that what do you call it? The pyramid of awareness.
Yeah.
So part of the issue that I faced was nobody really knew that they had this problem, or they don't know what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? So that was big for me.
Yeah, that what Joe's talking about there, the pyramid of awareness. When you look at all of the potential market that you have, it's almost like a pyramid, and it at the bottom is people that are just totally unaware, like he was mentioning there. And then up the ladder a little bit, it's a smaller rung of the pyramid, so there's less people in it. But at that point, they're aware of the problem, but they're not aware of the solution. If you go up the ladder, these are people that have become aware of the problem. They've researched. They're kind of aware now of different solutions. And then when they go up the next step in the ladder, they're actually aware of products to deliver the solutions. And the very top, the very peak of the pyramid, they are actually done with their research and they're ready to make a buying decision. It's a very small piece though. So the deal is that if you look at the pyramid, the base of the pyramid is your biggest opportunity. That's where the most of them lie. It also happens to be the longest sales cycle because you have to walk them all the way up the pyramid to get them where you can make an offer. So it is the biggest pot of gold, but it's the hardest one to mine just because it takes a little longer. But if you've got the tools, from ACT, you can do that very easily. And with a product like Kartra or any other sales funnel product, you can automate it. Yeah, it's a lot of heavy lifting and work in the front end of it. But once that thing's automated, man, you just feed it prospects and it does the work for you. So that's really what you want to aspire to, is figuring out your sales process. How do you grab their attention? How do you create that demand and desire? You know, how do you eliminate their objections and make your offer? And as you're doing that, you're going to be walking them up the pyramid. It just all kind of fits together. You can look at it in a lot of different ways and a lot of different lights, but if you look at it that way, it is the pyramid of awareness. You know, you can grab them with a big idea at different stages in the pyramid. Like if they're already product aware, what you have to do is you have to grab their attention with what they're looking at is not the right thing for them. You know, that's where you can offer PDFs like, hey, here's the 5 things you want to know before you decide on a XYZ product. And then they're like, oh, you know, or you can even make that stronger. Like if you pick the wrong one, it could cost you not only your money, but it might cost you your life. You know, if you're selling health products and they're going to make a big decision here and you say, you know, picking the wrong one could cost you your life, that's going to grab somebody's attention because the stakes are incredibly high. It's not just money. So there's just this is a very large can of worms. But knowing how to look at it, you can hone it down and you can get through, you can navigate these waters pretty quickly. But it is a process, and it's been used effectively for over 100 years in the ad business. You know, Allie is on here. She used to work in the ad business, and I'm sure she can back that up, that they work in a very methodical fashion, and it's based on the analysis of the market, always. So anyway,
John,
Lisa, you got your hand up here.
Oh, John?
Yeah.
Did you have any specific, you were almost getting to, it sounded like you had some specific comments or suggestions or not? Okay,
yes, I do. And I'll kind of circle back around to that. I just wanted to see if Lisa's got something here that's relevant. And I know she had put her hand up. So
nothing relevant. So continue with that because I want to ask a whole different thing.
Okay, you got it. Okay, so back to these big ideas. You have to get really clear on the promise. Like, what is it that they want? Like in best possible outcome, negotiate your best possible outcome with the IRS. That's pretty ambiguous. You got to be very specific, and the things that you're specific about have to be believable. And one of the biggest things that will make a promise believable is if you have a unique mechanism that will deliver the results, or at least you say you have one. Because as long as they think that, oh, this is the reason I didn't get the result before, or this is the reason I'm scared because I don't have anything to lean on. I don't have a system. I don't have anything that I know is true that's going to help me here. As soon as you give them that, it changes their belief system. And that belief system, believe it or not, that's going to create objections of why they're not going to buy from you. So you can address a whole bunch of that right here in the beginning. You know, you make a promise that most people don't believe a promise, because if they thought they could get it and they knew how to do it, they already would have done it, right? The thing that's holding them back from getting what they want is they don't have a path. They don't have a unique delivery mechanism to actually do it or get it for them, or, you know, whatever it happens to be. So the closer that you hone these things in, the better they're going to work. So really get specific. Like, think about with the IRS, what is the actual outcome they want? Not just best possible outcome. What is it that they want? Do they want to reduce their so-called tax bill from the IRS guy saying they owe him 100 grand? Does he want to get that down to 2,500? Does he want to slash what the IRS says that he's owed by 90% and get off the hook here? You got to get really specific about it, because then they're going to go, yeah, I want that. I don't want something, you know, ambiguous that I don't even know what it looks like. But you want them to lean forward and say, yeah, I want that. how does this thing, this unique mechanism, how does it work? It's basically, now they're asking more questions. Now you have a chance to take them to the next step in your marketing process, which is educate them, show them how it works, teach them how you are the best solution for them. That's going to create that demand and desire, you know. And then you've also potentially eliminated some objections here, because one of the biggest objections for why people don't buy something is the fact that they don't believe they can actually get the outcome. That's probably the biggest objection of all. And it's never a stated one. If you ask somebody why they didn't buy something, they're never going to say, oh, because I didn't believe I could do it. They're just not going to say that. But that's probably the underlying driver of why they didn't buy it. And, you know, when in divorce court, that's a big one. There's a lot of emotion behind that one. So, you know, get very, very specific. Like, you know, and it depends too, if this is a man or a woman. Because a man and a woman could have totally different desires of this outcome.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
A quick question. I'm new at this, and I'm just listening. But when you said get clear, or the question to ask yourself what the market wants, and you mentioned going back and asking yourself what was it that was holding you back or stopping you that you solved, that now you know. In my case, I know it's holding other people back. But the problem that I have is I preach talking about purpose first, because that's what happened to me. And I realized that identifying your purpose, that most people don't know their purpose in life. So I hinge everything on, that's where I start with people, but then I take them through a process. And Tammy and I talked about this, where their belief system changes. And in my model, that doesn't even show up until down the road. So I leave that blank so they don't even see the process, that particular step. But my question is, if I go back, I know exactly what happened. I know my story. How, if we're talking about success in general, how do we, since everybody has their own definition of what success is for them, or at least that's what we want to get them some clarity on, how do you market to each individual who has something different, but yet get specific?
Well, a lot of times what will happen is they're going to have a core belief. Like if you ask them what they want, and they're going to tell you this very superficial answer to begin with. And you have to ask, okay, why do you want that? What's that going to do for you? And then they'll give you a little more specific answer. And then you say, why is that important to you? And you just keep drilling until you really get to the bottom of the barrel. And when you get down to where they can't answer it any further, you're very close to the core at that point. Like for instance, if I asked a business owner, what do you want? You know, if I could wave a magic wand and give you anything you want, what would it be? They're always going to tell me, oh, I want to make $1 million this year. That's pretty much the standard answer. That's superficial and it's meaningless. And you say, oh, okay, why is $1 million important to you? You know, are you going to buy something that's $1 million, or, you know, what is it? You know, why do you want $1 million? Why not 2? Why not $500,000? And, you know, then they come to the conclusion, oh, well, yeah, it isn't really just $1 million. I just want to be able to make it as much as I want. You say, oh, okay, that's interesting. Why is that important to you? Why is having as much money as you ever want, why is that important to you? And if you drill it back far enough, you're going to find that it's going to come to the freedom factor. And the reason, like, why is the freedom important to you? Now we're getting down near the core. When they can answer why the freedom is important to you, now we're talking core value. And generally a man, when you get down there, when you get down near his core, it's going to come down to significance. He wants to be important mostly to his family first. Sometimes if religion's in there, you know, he wants to be godly, godlike. but it's all those core values of what's really important to them. But family, being the head of the household, being the leader, that is pure significance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the core value right there. And if you drill down on the women, it's not going to necessarily be significance. It's going to be more closer to security.
Security, love.
Yeah. Love
family.
is security. For many women, love is security.
Yeah.
Being nurtured, being, wrapped in a blanket, taken care of, and I don't mean that as derogatory towards women at all.
Right.
It's just, you can go back to the beginning of time and you can see that, it's written on the walls in the caves from the cavemen. There was a leader, there was a chief. He was the significant one in the tribe. And, he led the tribe. He was a hunter. That's probably how he got that position. He killed more than the rest. And what that meant was he provided more for the rest. And the best woman in the tribe was his, because he provided for her. And, and again, I don't mean this as derogatory towards women at all. There are some women that could hunt the shit out of men. There are some women that could run circles around most men I know.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
There, when you dig down on them, you might find significance is more important to them.
Sure. And there's going to be some of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
That makes sense. Okay.
So there is no like black and white, right and wrong to this. It's everyone's different. Everyone's very unique. But your audience is going to have a lot of things in common. So if you can, that's where, when you talk about the ideal avatar, who's the ideal customer, they represent the market. That's why it's so important to figure out who your avatar is. But your avatar is not just anyone. It's the perfect person out of that segment. And in the ACT program, I talk a lot about segmentation. That's the only way that you can actually create a proper avatar, is if you segment your market. Okay. Because your market, like most people's, is very large. It's almost like, people that drink water. That's a pretty large market. But you have to segregate them down into, okay, why do they drink the water? Are they drinking the water for sports reasons, for performance? Are they drinking it because they, this water saves the environment? Or are they drinking it to save their life and live longer? People will buy the same product for different reasons. And that's the same with your market. They will come to your solution for different reasons. So you segment them and you figure out, okay, this is my most profitable segment. So I want to create the avatar from this segment. What's important to this guy?
So do you do the same thing with if you're targeting a specific organization, or do you do that with organizations and companies and that such on that track too?
You can pretty much do that with any group of people that you're going to try and sell to.
Okay.
Because the group, when you look at it at first glance, it's probably massive. You might say, I serve men, or I serve women, or some people say I serve everyone. And then you got to break that down. You go, okay, well, out of all of that, who is the most profitable? Why are they buying it? And who's the guy that's going to spend the most money with you and be with you for life and be your favorite person to work with? And then when you look at him or her, you'll find, there's a lot of similarities to this little segment here where we can ignore 90% of this market and just focus on these 10%. Figure out what's really important to them, create a marketing campaign for them that will work and convert really well. And then after you've done that, everybody thinks when they go into this, they're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to make my first funnel for, my most profitable segment. And then I'll come back and I'll serve the rest later. Well, I guarantee you tap into a profitable market, you're not going to be thinking anything but going to the bottom of that market and getting them all. You're going to forget about the less profitable markets. those segments are going to go, yeah, I got no time for that. You're going to be looking for another profitable segment to go after. You know, and that's the whole thing. That a lot of people have this thing of, you know, I want to save the world and I want to make a difference, and that, you know, that's great, but you got to make a difference for you first, and that's the only way you're going to do that. You can't save the world if you haven't saved yourself first. You know, that's a very important concept to understand.
John, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
First, I want to point out that I figured out how to get my background on my suspenders. And I want to know if there's a way to patent this so I could sell it. But, you know, what I've been trying to do is drill down to like that moment when people have that sheer panic and they need what I do. And you gave me an idea here about like when they open a letter, you know, every time somebody incorporates or sets up an LLC, they get this scam letter from like Corp something, and you got to pay $80.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everybody, every time I get a client, they text it to me. Am I supposed to pay this? And it's like a joke.
Yeah.
But
I've gotten those. I know what you're talking about. I get them all the time.
Yeah, and everybody, you know, there's that sheer anxiety when you get a letter. So can I do a marketing campaign like around that, like do a YouTube ad or something like that?
Sure. I mean, you could even do direct mail. You could do direct mail out just like what they're doing. They're going to the mailbox and they're opening it
Oh
up.
my God.
Here's something, you know, everybody is really hyper focused on online right now. And it's great. Online is awesome. But the offline world has kind of been forgotten about. And you know how they say fashion always comes back around in history? Well, what I'm looking at here is some of the most top experienced successful marketers that have been online for 20 years, they are doing direct mail now. I'm talking like direct US postal mail to drive people to their online funnels. And it's working really well. So, you know, you could potentially do a shock mail like that and then send them to your website to learn more about it, get them to opt in, and now they're in the funnel. Now you got them. Now you can follow up with them till the end of time. So that could work out really well, and it's fairly inexpensive too. In fact, I don't know, you might be able to, this is a great way to get away from the whole spam issue too, because you're building your mailing list the right way. People are actually opting in. And, you know, a good way to do that, Shanta here is on a thing called Banner Season, which is kind of like send out cards, but it's a whole lot easier to work with. And at a certain level in there, I think all you have to do is pay the postage, and they will do your cards. They'll print the card for free. They'll print a free postcard, and you just pay the minimum postage and deliver that thing out. So you could buy a mailing list, you could import it in there, and you could have them do all the heavy lifting for you. They'll print the cards, personalize the cards, deliver them in the mail to drive those people to your online funnel, to your opt-in page. Just buy like a domain name, send it to a Kartra page, and bang. I'd be really curious to see how that worked. Because
So I could actually like take one of those letters and scare them into going to my website. Make it official looking. Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah,
Thanks,
exactly. That might hook up with Shanta and get dialed in on that. That would be, I mean, that's just dirt cheap for you to do that. You might find that you could do that way cheaper to generate leads than you can generate them online. So
What's the name of that company again?
it's called Banner Season. So
John, one other thing I wanted to add, and not sure if you realize too, we also have an ability to buy a mailing list. We have one where you can put in a lot of different criteria, and it's not expensive. We have some like for 100 mail names, it's like $10, and they actually give you the addresses right into your contact address book. So once you buy it, it's yours to keep, and you can continue mailing to them.
oh wow, even better. I had no idea about that.
Love it.
That's really cool.
John?
Joe, you ought to get on that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
how are you? Can you like segment, say like business owners in California or something like that?
Yeah, it's got a lot of drop downs where you can actually pull up like a demographic. It's really good for realtors too. One of the things they have is you can get their credit score. If you want a credit score of higher than 750 or whatever it is. So if you're doing renters and you want to market to them. So they have a lot of different criteria which you can select.
Wow, that's
Cool.
awesome.
Thanks.
That's really cool.
What is the name of that company, the mailing list?
It's the same one, the Banner Season.
Uh,
Yeah. So, all right.
What is that? The website, the Banner Season?
Shanta, you want to put your thing in the chat here, and I think what's it called, the inbox to mailbox. Oh, you're muted there.
Oh, from inbox to mailbox.
From inbox to mailbox.com. So yeah, if you want to, Shanta, if you want to put that in the chat for them, that would that'll make it easier on them. So
Is there a way to see how many people would be on a list before you buy it?
Yes.
yeah.
Because I keep
Yeah.
thinking, here, let me put on my camera. I keep thinking my people aren't on any of these lists.
Yeah,
That-
you can see it, but you can't see the names.
No, I don't want to see the names. I would just want to see the numbers, like the number of people that identify themselves as actors in Los Angeles.
You can do that.
And their physical addresses. Where does that information come from?
It comes from public records. That's where they're pulling it all from.
Yeah, there's big data sources out there that they've got anything you can imagine.
Because I would be willing to send a mailing piece because I know the open rate's higher, and it also proves my coaching, which is put stuff in the physical mail, but all actors are notoriously cheap or poor, and they want to just email. And then, I say it, but proof is in the pudding. And if I can get new people in based on a mailer, then I'm like, hey, who's in my community because you got something in the mail? Blah, so.
Yeah, I can tell you from like mailing lists, we had one of my commercial customers shifted gears after the COVID thing, and his business was completely different. But now what he's got a medical supply company. So he's supplying the sterile gloves, the N95 masks, the surgical suits and all that, not for the public, but for medical supply buyers. And I was able to find him a list. We actually purchased a list of medical supply buyers in the continental US, because he only wanted continental US. And there was about 15,000 on the list.
Wow.
And I think it cost, it was somewhere around $1,200 that we paid for the list. And then we got a mail house to send them out, all email marketed. We sent that out, and out of the 15,000, they only had about a dozen people that opted in on the funnel. They got probably about the same amount of phone calls, but out of that small response, they've got 7 prospects that they're negotiating massive deals. One of them I just heard about yesterday. I believe they wanted to start with a starting order of 7 million boxes of these gloves at $10 a box. You know, that's a lot of money.
So that's not my audience, and that's why I sit there and go, no, can I launch into the question that I had for you?
Sure.
Kind of two-part. Well, there's so many, but I missed last week's session because I was giving my own I was doing something else. But okay, so the first question I have is technical, pretty easy and pretty fast to answer. When you do this Zoom format with your coaching group, which I'm part of, you upload to a list on YouTube, and yet there's all this really great information in the chat. Is there a way to take the information in the chat and put it into a document and somehow also upload it or attach it to the video playlist in YouTube?
Absolutely. You can't really attach it, but when you upload a video into YouTube, you can just paste it right into the description of the video. There's a description window, and as far as I know, I don't think there's any limit to how many characters it'll take.
I think it's 5,000, but it's a lot.
Yeah,
there is a limit, but it's a lot. Okay, so in the description, okay, because what I'm doing these days, and I don't know your settings, I'm setting them as unlisted, but should I set them as private?
It depends on your strategy. See, I put them up in YouTube, but I put mine public. Most people don't realize that. I don't say that. I don't like advertise that. But occasionally some people will find them that are not in the group, and they get to watch. They get to actually sit in on one of these sessions, and they're like, wow, I want to be part of that group. How do I get on those live calls?
Yeah, so see, that's the thing. In general business, people can have all different kinds of businesses. And so come to you as I know my avatar back and forth. If I make something available to them for free, they'll suck it dry. So, and that's my challenge now. So that was the first thing. So yesterday I launched, based on your wonderful expertise and guidance here, my own $29 monthly membership. I've been doing two Zoom meetings a week for just under 3 months. One is called the Brunch Club, which was meeting on a weekend morning and now is a weekday. So that's Tuesday mornings. And I've been getting, I would say, consistently 10 to 15 people, both coasts, couple different areas. Then I've been doing Showbiz Thursdays, which, and these formats are different. What I'm doing is different on each, different but the same, but different strategies and focuses. Showbiz Thursdays has once a month an industry guest, either a manager or an agent, or, you know, we had a SAG board member on talking about COVID and the reopening and of the entertainment industry. So there's always an industry guest once a month. Then once a month, we do a talent showcase where everybody, and they love that because they love showing what they can do. And then we do, anyway, the point is they're different. So I decided based on this model, well, first of all, I'm going to start charging. I am charging $7 now a month to come to 4 meetings for Brunch Club. I'm charging $7 a month if you want to continue to come to Showbiz Thursdays. If you want to do both, because I have a lot of people that come to both, then it's only $10 a month to do both. But here's the kicker. I created something called the Gold Standard, which is my coaching. The other ones are like, I'm more of a leader than a trainer. I'm more of a leader and a bringer together, and I always do have pearls of wisdom, but this is an actual coaching. So I gave an open meeting to that yesterday. I had 47 people sign up to come to the free open coaching. I had 32 show up, and I had 6 register. I'm going to send out the replay today.
When you say register, you mean buy?
Buy.
Okay.
So I had buy, and oh, but here's the thing. When you do the $29 thing, you get the other ones for free. So it's a no-brainer. Pay me $29 instead of $7 or $10, right?
Sure.
Because if I'm going to be showing up anyway, and I have been, I'd rather have $29.
Absolutely.
My goal is 300 people by the end of the year. And I have my statistics and numbers. The thing is my audience, and so I don't know whether to get tough with them. What I'm doing is like yesterday, I did a training topic on money, and it's in our thinking, and how starving artists stay starving because we got to shift our thinking. And, you know, and then I get mirrored back, oh, I really love it. And could you just tell me more about, you know, my pictures, and should I take them off and should I put them on? And by the way, when I have the $29, I'll be glad to come. So they will still want to suck me dry for free.
Yep.
And I am at a point where I'm a nice person and I don't want to be harsh and go back. So here's my question. I've got individual emails from people who are like, well, could you just tell me this? And I don't want to, because that's what I want to be paid for. And then in my mass emails, like tonight is the last free Showbiz Thursdays. I'm bringing on a really great personal manager. There's so much value. I've already set up my playlists for $7 a month. I'm just telling them it's just $7. And then it leads them to all the choices. But I'm a little stuck in, I don't have all my numbers. I'll have more numbers next week, because I've got emails going out. But this mentality is, it is a quantity game. It's a quantity game. There's no shortage of leads. There's no shortage of actors who want agents, but there is a huge shortage of people who want to pay for stuff. And I'm trying to say to them, look, at a certain point, you need to stop working for free to build your reel, to build your resume, to get free pictures or free footage, because you want to be paid. And so do I. So I'm actually kind of saying that in a little paragraph in one of my emails. Do you think that
I'll give you something to try that
Yes.
works really good for me?
Yes.
Because I have the same thing. You know, I have a lot of people that come in and, you know, they want free advice, free how to do this, you know, and it's all stuff that's in my paid membership. So what I do is when they do that, when they come, let's say they email me, you know, how do I do this? Like, oh, here's the link.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I can do for you in the gold standard.
No,
like that's my standard answer.
No, just send them the link to get the thing. Say, I have a video on that. Here's the link. And then when they go to the link, it's behind a paid membership. So when they don't have access to the link, they all of a sudden get this FOMO of, oh, it's over there. And then when they come back to you and say, well, I couldn't get in, go, oh, you're not a member?
Oh, well, see, okay, so that's with people that I don't know, but realize I've been in business for 11 years, and a lot of these people have known me for 11 years.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
A lot of them will come, but a lot of them will continue to suck me dry for free. So I'm at a point where, I'm ready to leave them behind, but I don't want to act like an asshole about it.
Yeah, no, that's the perfect solution for that. Because I have the same thing. I have people that have, you know, followed me for years, and that particular tactic has converted more of them into paying customers than you can imagine.
Well, the thing is I don't have the link to the answer to the thing that they want. I am the answer. The membership is the answer. I mean, you got to understand, like, so the scenario here is I did a free coaching yesterday. I did a free training first. And out of the 32 people, 5 kept asking questions, and I worked with them individually, and I gave them great feedback.
Well, that's
actually
even, yeah.
And then they wanted more, and none of those people signed up.
Yeah, that's actually even an easier one to deal with, because if you are the solution and that's what you talk about in the paid you know, sessions, you just say, oh, perfect. You know, I'm going to be talking about that Thursday. Here's the link to you know, to watch. And then when they try and follow the link, they see they have to
well, see, here's the thing. Just in this scenario, she already got the link. She got the link on that thing. She's going to get the link today in the replay, but she sent me a personal email. So I'm going to respond to the personal email, and I'm going to, and I can say to her, hey, that's perfect because that's what one of the things I'm going to talk about next week. But it's not, because I'm not going to tailor my whole training to her.
Yeah. Well, is your training open like this one is?
Yes, yes. So what I'm doing
Oh,
is about
boy.
the first half hour, I'm training on a topic. And my strategy is this, John. Now that it's becoming paid as of next week, the emails that I was sending out for free, which just saying Showbiz Thursdays, and then here's the thing, I'm now going to put in the subject line, get trained on this. And these are the topics. This is what we're going to be here's the topics for the month. And and then put the link in where people can buy. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. But you could easily do what I was talking about, because you said half of your thing is open call like this.
Yeah.
So you could say, yeah, we're going to address that on next week's call. Just show up and make sure you ask.
Here's just really quickly what she wrote. She sent me an attachment of her stuff. As far as IMDb, and I already coached her on this, do you think I should have only 1 or 2 photos and take several off? Originally, I thought it was good to show different looks, such as mom, quirky, business, and I tried to save the info from today's Zoom, but not sure how that works. Can you direct me? Would love to continue working with you as soon as we get things back to normal income-wise here. I'd also love hearing your comment on conscious awareness and learning, blah, 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 blah. We're definitely going through a major shift.
Yeah.
Looking forward to tomorrow's session, which is tonight, which is free. So I sit there and I go, do I even want to bother to respond to her at all? Or do I nurture this lead personally by saying, hey, Jeannie, that's a really great question. And that's the kind of thing I'd be answering personally for you in the gold standard.
Yeah.
Would love to have you here when it's right for you. Is that it? Because I'm not going to answer it.
Yeah, you can just follow her lead and say, yeah, I look forward to it getting back to normal so you can get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get so frustrated. I've tried to leave this community so many times. I just get so frustrated. And I know it's not just them. It's a lot of people in general that just want everything for nothing. And yet they want to be paid for what they do. So shifting that mentality is got to happen over there first. And I would love to be the person that not only teaches by example, but also has a call to action that they actually take action on. Because if I can't get freaking $7 out of you a month,
do you have some
there's
sort
no
of
hope.
do you have some sort of an emotional attachment to these people?
For many of them, yes, because they've been in my community for, you have no idea. There's a lot of love there. These people have been in my community, many of them for 11 years. They used to come to my live events. I charged $15 at the door for the live events. And $10 if they pre-registered, and I used to give away all this. I mean, there's so much value that I create. I've always said I'm sick of the mentality of starving artists, but that is my whole big idea, is to shift that mentality to abundant artists, to thriving artists. And you can't create if you're broke. So my job is to get you paid. So that's the thing.
There's a little thing that's gone down through history that says you can lead a horse to water.
Right.
You might not be able to make this group drink.
No, I got it. So here's the thing. And by the way, you guys, thanks so much for the comments in the chat. I'm not married to this community. I am ready based on Kartra. I'm creating everything to set it and forget it, so that all the new people that once the tracks are laid, and then I'm doing the ads and the leads that are coming in and I don't know them. It's just, this is this core group. I still have like 2,200 on my email list that stay on my email list because I give great content and I am who I am. And I culled that down from 6,000 when I went to Kartra. I got rid of 4,000 people that weren't, anyway. So I know when it's ready, I'm going to rebuild the list, and those people I'm not going to know. And they're going to be click, get the information, great, come up with me or not. Then the attention turns to the higher value client. And that's when I launched SheBiz. Yeah. So
I think the best thing you could possibly do for yourself is start looking at your segments and figure out which segments are most profitable and spend your time there.
Well, there again lies the rub, John, and I love you to death. I bought Kartra, and I've been working with Anthony now for what, 8 months, and I still don't have it done. And so I'm going to be working with Judy. I might have to let Anthony go. I love him, but it's just so laborious, the process, and so many, like, it just takes so much time, and it's either me doing it myself, I can't, or hiring somebody that already knows the answer, because he doesn't. So I don't have the segments there. I mean, I have the segments, they're in pieces. I need the technologist to make it so. That's my stop. It has been, it still is. I don't know what to do about it. It is time consuming.
Yeah. You might be mixing the technology with the messaging. Because
no, the messaging is all there. I have all of the sales. I have all the fulfillment. I have all of the text. I have the lead magnets. And it's just not happening. Even getting this membership together, well, you're the one that said I could do it in 4 levels. The $7, well, let me tell you, once it was put together, all the buy buttons went to the same form. Didn't matter what you bought, you got it's not, I'm sorry. This is a private conversation. I don't want to throw stones. So it's not working. It's okay. So I've got to correct and continue. My last question, and this is totally, thank you. The last question is this be connected thing. Be connected? Yeah. I was on yesterday's call in another mastermind. I know that a lot of people on here are not in that, but for the ones that are, I got really conflicting information and I wasn't here last week. So do I have to join Be Connected at $2.99 in order to be able to get the Zoom platform for $9.99 a month? Correct. See, I thought I heard you say because we're in this, we didn't have to do that. We just got to sign up through you for the $9.99. Currently, it is the only path to it. Starting in about a week, July 1st, I'm getting the rights to sell that through my company. Got it. So you said, because I have zero interest in Be Connected. It's another thing that I don't want to focus on. I just can't focus. Just wait and get it through me after July 1st. So if I just wait till after July 1st, and the only people who can get it from you for $9.99 a month, and that's that same 500 seat Zoom thing. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is if we're in this membership. Correct. Got it. Because I got people that are in your ACT program that are not in your membership. Well, the ACT program really is the membership. Not if they don't continue to pay the $29 a month. Gotcha. Yeah, they can. Program, they got their 1 month free, and they did not realize. Okay. And when I say they, I mean there's one person that when I shared it with, who was on yesterday, I said, "Oh no, you're," and I said, "Aren't you in John's thing?" And she said, "No," and I went, "Oh, well." So I can get her to join your thing. Yep. And do it through your affiliate link, and you make 50% of it. Do I have an affiliate link for this? Oh, yep. Could you put that in the chat, please? Or how do I do that? I can send you your link. Please do. Email it to you. Because everyone's would be different. So. Oh, so I did not realize that you had an affiliate link for the $29 a month program that you do. Mm-hmm. I have affiliate links for everything I do. Awesome.
Hey, John, it's Chris. Hey, if it's easier for you, you can just send her my affiliate link.
There you go.
Hey, I do have a question for you. The congratulations on securing the ability to offer that on July 1st. I have 2 quick questions for you. Will it be the same $9.95 or is it $12.95?
It's actually going to be $12.99.
Okay.
And even through Be Connected, starting July 1st, Zoom is making this mandatory that the minimum price is $12.99 starting July 1st.
And my second question is, just in case if I wanted to go if I chose to go to the Be Connected route, mm-hmm. When does when does that benefit through them end?
on July 1st, the $9.99 is going to go to $12.99.
Okay.
As far as the big benefit to the Be Connected thing is going to be the ongoing access to the platform if you get the lifetime membership.
Right.
So I was really conflicted whether I was even going to mention that to anybody or just buy my way in. When I first looked at it, I was looking at, okay, the lifetime membership, it requires 2 people to sign up under you. So my first thought was I sign up for the $2.99. I sign Barb up for the $2.99. I just cancel hers out so it doesn't rebill. And then I sign one of my dogs up for the other one. And I get lifetime membership basically for $900, right? Rather than doing that, after I started looking at it to see if it was really worthwhile, really worth doing that, I was like, holy shit, this thing could really be spectacular. And they're going to be charging the $2.99. When I first looked at it, I'm like, there's no way in hell people are going to pay $2.99 a month to be on this platform. That'll never get legs. So that was my holdup. That was my conflict. I didn't want to promote that out to somebody thinking that that was the truth. Then when I found out that wasn't the truth, the $2.99 is just their pre-launch thing to get people in to have the ability to do the lifetime. That's not going to be available after they launch. It's basically going to be, I think, 60 to 80 bucks a month, just like LinkedIn, for the paid LinkedIn. They'll also have the free version, just like LinkedIn, where you can create a profile and then people can connect to you and all that. But the thing I really like about it is the fact that it is run on an algorithm that's similar to a dating app, so it won't turn into a spam bot place like LinkedIn has. I get 20 emails a day it's just garbage out of LinkedIn. It's really annoying. And this won't allow that. Like if you send out 5 connections, let's say you buy it, you're on the service, you send out 5 connections and they really are meaningless. They're just spam. You're just trying to spam people. And they give you a bad rating, you're not going to be able to send out 5 more. It's going to put a real slowdown on your ability to connect with people. So, and then other people will see if you've got a bad reputation, they won't connect to you because they don't want to be spammed. If LinkedIn had that, it would change their game radically. But it's too late for them. I've always said you can't get the shit back in the horse. Well, that's out of their horse. So there's no saving it. But this one, right out of the gate, it's going to be a high quality business to business platform, which is missing in the market. So for me to be able to be on the front end of that and get a lifetime access to that and, be on the cutting edge of that'd be worth $900 to me to buy my way in. But then after I got all the details, I'm like, okay, this is worth talking about. This is at least worth letting people know that this is available. And I'm glad I did, and another thing too, they just told me the other day that they were seriously considering me to be a trainer on the platform. And then I talked to 2 of the founders, and I am about 99% sure that that's going to happen at this point. So that will be a massive audience for me to be able to bring into this community that will help everybody, because it's going to bring resources in. It's going to bring possibilities in. Anybody that's providing services, we'll be able to open that like a fire hose. So if you've got, products, services, or whatever you want to open up to the group, I'm still putting together a marketplace for that. So you guys will be able to put your stuff, because you're members of this, you'll be able to put your offers inside that marketplace for the whole community. So cool stuff.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I did sign up. I made my investment in Be Connected.
I saw
Took the
that.
chances. You probably saw my name.
Yep.
However, how quickly after you signed up and got on the thing, did you receive your link for the Zoom and the travel, the benefits, the other stuff? That's my
Okay.
first question.
Mine was a little bit slow because they didn't even have the stuff online yet. It was all done manually.
Mhm.
But now when you log in, you go to the other benefits, the Be Connected Benefits tab, and you have to sign up for the it's called Working Live.
Yes, okay.
And the Zoom is delivered through the Working Live platform. That's how you get it at that price. They're a big reseller, and they've connected with Be Connected to deliver that.
Okay.
So
And not to be too frugal about this, but since I did it before June 30th, am I grandfathered at $9.99?
that is my understanding, yes.
Okay.
Yep, you should be
Right answer.
$9.95 forever at that point. So
And can I change the website? I know that when your link to the offer is Internet Dominators /B,
correct.
and they just made one for me, Teresa Cherry /B or something.
Yeah, they made one for me too, and that's the real link. The internetdominators.com /B. I created that to make it easy. So you can definitely do that. You can create those yourself. They're called, some people call them short links. Some people call them pretty links. But it's a way to send somebody through a link where they can't see the raw link. So they don't really know what's on the other side, so they can't shortcut you and, cut commissions out or whatever.
Well, we can't have that.
Yeah, I do that for everything. Like Kartra, when I send my Kartra affiliate link out, I don't send the Kartra link out because they could just go to Kartra.com, cut my affiliate off the end. So I do internetdominators.com /Kartra. They don't really know what the link is. They just have to click my link and it forwards them to my affiliate link.
Okay, and you can do that through the affiliate link on Kartra or?
No, I do that through my WordPress. I have a plugin in WordPress that creates those links.
All right, well, I'm not there yet.
So
Okay.
when we're actually in the process of building your website right now, I'll put that plugin in there for you.
Awesome, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, it's a free plugin. Why not, right?
What's the
Sure.
plugin, John?
Is that a Pretty Links you're using, John?
Yeah, it's a free one. I forget the name of it, but it's a redirect plugin. I just looked up. I just went into plugins and WordPress and put redirect in there, and a whole bunch of them came up. I just tried the first one that came up and works awesome.
We use Pretty Links, and we have some of our clients actually have the paid version, but we use the free version ourselves.
Okay, yeah, it's not Pretty Links. I know it's not that one. I think it's just called Redirection.
There's a lot of them out there. They're all good.
Yeah, I think it's just called Redirection. So it's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool. All right, anybody else here before we wrap up? Allie.
Hi, John.
Huh?
So I have a question about this, just playing a little bit of devil's advocate with the being connected or be connected thing. What if it doesn't work out and they don't like it just isn't, it doesn't all come together and they fold? Does everything fold, like you lose the Zoom and all that, or does that get on?
The Zoom is through a different company. So if Be Connected folds up, the Zoom you're still going to have through the Working Live. I can assure you that company is not folding up. They're very profitable.
And also, I wanted to share, and John, maybe you were already going to say this, but if people, let's say you don't get to people and you don't find Be Connected to be worth whatever it is after the launch. If you cancel your Be Connected, you can still keep your Zoom account with that other platform, Working Live.
Correct.
As long as you don't request a refund for what you already paid to Be Connected. So you can't get it for free and just say, I want a refund, but you can cancel after your initial $2.99.
Correct. Yeah. And even that alone would be, worth the price of admission. But if that's all you're going to do, if that's all you want it for, you can just wait until July 1st and I can get it for you for $12.99. Not for, I'd never be able to get it for $9.99.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I was just I'm in the same boat as Lisa. It's all occurring as overwhelm right now, and I'd rather just throw the money at you.
If you don't need business connections, then it's not right for you. If you need business connections and you want a lifetime access to that platform, $2.99 and then getting 2 other people in is really a deal.
Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, I would guess everyone needs business connections, so.
And I'd like to share also that I'm not a person that came in with a list. I started in business just a year ago, like from scratch, and I'm so grateful to have found John. So I work with other people, I consult with other people, and I've been learning with you all here in John's program for the last year. I'm working with him as an apprentice, but I don't have a list to market to. So I was concerned that I might not be able to refer to people. But it was so fast and so easy. The one person that I'm working with and translating the ACT program into Spanish, and then one other person that I know through Craig's, and we talk a lot and we work together and we're friends. And those 2 people were it. And those 2 are now, one of them has her 2 and the other one is working on his 2nd. Because it's so, like John said, if you don't need business connections and you don't see that, then of course wait for John. But for me, my thing is if I could pay Zoom $300 to get that $9.99 a month, I would have done it. And I just looked at it that way, even if I didn't get the 2 people. But it's so valuable that I intend to share it with others. So I'm working on a page right now that's actually a little campaign that's going to go out and address, how it needs the Zoom link and its quality connections like John was talking about. And I'm hoping to bring people to a little webinar that'll help sign up with it. But if it's something that you're interested in, I think it's almost like there's no risk besides that initial $2.99 because you can cancel it if you need to.
Yeah, and it's an affiliate offer. So the 2 that you bring in, you make $50 off each sale. So just by bringing the 2 in, now your $2.99 goes to $1.99.
And another $20 for anybody that your very first level people bring in.
Yeah.
So, so that's been nice because, I'm really halfway back to the 300 that I put in.
Yeah. I just looked at mine this morning and I was kind of shocked because my payout number in it is up to $750. So I think I got my $2.99 back plus some.
All right.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're doing some advertising on TV soon, and we need a number. I don't want them calling my cell phone. And I also want someone to answer the line. So does anyone have experience? Like, do I buy a new phone number? Or?
You can go through an answer service and a lot of them will supply the numbers for you. So they'll a lot of them will give you an 800 number to use that goes specifically to their line for you in their office. That would be probably what I would recommend. I don't have any personal recommendations of them, but I know a lot of companies do definitely use that. But
and someone that answers the phone and has 3 basic questions.
Yeah, you give them your scripts and they know how to, they know how to address the calls and they can generate leads for you. They can plug them into they can collect the information and enter it into an online form and, put that right into your lead process for you. They can even take sales, I know in your case, you're not going to sell a house off of a call like that, but they could certainly collect any information that you want collected. They could put it into a form and that could go right into your Kartra account, and you could do whatever you want from there. So Judy says ruby.com is a good one for for a receptionist type thing. So try that. Ruby, RUBY.com. So, all right. Anything else here before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah, I wanted to know, you've said a few of everybody said that GoDaddy is not good to work with. I have a friend, a business partner that we had bought a domain with GoDaddy, and she was saying she's going to start hosting, and I said, wait, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
So what do you recommend?
GoDaddy is fine for registering your domains. As a domain registry, they're all the same. It doesn't really matter. If you are going to go with a domain registry, I would definitely go with GoDaddy over most of the rest of them. Most of the rest of them are even more of a pain in the ass. But as far as a domain registry, GoDaddy is perfectly fine. They're just fine. I actually have a domain registry myself. If you want to use it, it's on my site under the services called Domain Registry. And it's very similar to GoDaddy because we use the same back end process. It's called Wild West Domains. Wild West is the software and service behind GoDaddy. So I've got the same one. It looks almost identical. But all of the other services that they offer are pretty much junk services. All of their hosting, all of that stuff. I know a lot of people that have gone that route, and we're very sorry about it.
Right. So what is a better route? Because that's what I told her to stop. I said, don't host it. Let me find out.
I've been hosting all of my client stuff myself for the last 25 years.
Okay.
So I've never had an issue. Everyone else I know that has gone somewhere else, they've always had issues and always come back to me.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, great.
I'm not the cheapest, but I don't want to be the cheapest either. If they're looking for $4 hosting, hey, go to GoDaddy and have fun.
Yeah, I think I think she wants to she bought the domain name and now she wants to do something with it. And they offer free, and I said something, she said, well, they do it for free. And I said, I said, nothing's for free. Let me ask my business coach.
Yeah, just
I don't know.
Send her on over and make the affiliate commission.
Oh yeah, true. All right. That's another thing. I can't get it to work, so I have to talk to you about that. But anyway, and then I oh my God, I had another question. All right. Anybody else? I just can't. I wrote it down and now I can't find it.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. I have to put a presentation together. I'm doing a webinar here with Tim. I know he just popped off the line, but I'm doing a webinar with him coming up here in about an hour and a half, and I should probably put a PowerPoint together. So I'm going to go get with that, and we will talk to you guys next week, which I think is right before 4th of July. So have a great week and get ready to blow some stuff up next week. All right, guys, have a great one.
Thanks, John.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.